Hey audience, this is Mgtow Jesus posting up again. Got me a little bowl of ramen here and a nice cup of coffee, feeling good about it. Nice little warm soup on a summer evening, I don't know why, but just need it. Anyways, what I want to talk about was the, this, I think Thorium put it out recently about, not I apologize, Skeptor put it out recently about prerogative, or their derivative A and prerogative B, um, that basically they will ask for rights, and when challenged will go back and say, well, men have been in power for a long time, and most of the people in power are men, so men's issues need to wait. Well, I just had an argument with a feminist. It was fun. I was down at the vape shop enjoying a little bit of vape, and she started talking about science, and I like to talk about science. So we went in that conversation, and then she mentioned that you know there needs to be more women in science, and that it's we were talking about something about it, and then she mentioned inequalities, and I was like, "What do you mean? How is it that the world of science is not hospitable to women?" And she said that, well, that's because there are more men than women in science, and that's gender inequality. And I was like, no, I think you're confusing unequal opportunity with unequal result. I had to explain to her that everyone has had an equal opportunity, but based on the choices people make throughout their childhood and into their adult lives, gives you a result. Some people make different choices, and some choices work out, some choices don't. That's just the way it is. And she said, well, and she goes with this whole idea about this brainwashing thing that when you're taught to play with dolls, not with rocket ships, and all that. And it's like, well, if your parents forced dolls on you, you should have said you didn't like them. And she said, well, I did like them. I was like, right, so how are your parents supposed to stop giving you dolls when you like them and force rocket ships on you? I wouldn't do that to my 7-year-old daughter. She naturally doesn't want to play with dolls anymore. She's more interested in what daddy likes, which happens to be, astronomy and things like that, and astrophysics, and wants to learn more about rocket science and more about mathematics and the fifth dimensions and fourth dimensions and all that cool stuff. She wants to know about that because that's what daddy likes to talk about. That's what daddy knows. If her parents, that's on her parents. But she wants to change the way society operates to where parents will. I mean, at that point, should we just never sell dolls anymore? I mean, what's the point of dolls? Why do we even need Barbies anymore at all? If even if girls like them, intrinsically, we should just stop giving them to them in general. Because they might like being scientists or alchemists or not alchemists. You know what I meant? Chemists or whatever when they grow up. And so I said to her, I said, okay, well, what would you do to fix the problem? And she goes, well, we need to push, we need to get women, we need to raise the numbers. And I said, well, what would you suggest? Would you suggest financial incentives? Bigger, women can get more scholarships and grants and things like that. She goes, yeah, that would be what I'd want. It'd be great for women to be able to have a scholarship and grants to help motivate them to go into these fields. And I said, well, but here's the thing. I was like, are you going to give that to boys too? And no joke, her response to that was that she says, well, there are already so many men there. I said, well, wait a second. I was like, how many generations are we talking about here? Because by the end of the first or second generation that you push this agenda, it's going to be well over 50% women. And even if it is 50% women at that, let's say 20, 30 years from now, it's still just 50-50 at this point. You get it to 50-50. The problem is you have to look at what the men had to go through to get to that point. I was like, you once again are asking for a privilege. You want a right, or whatever you want to call it, and a legal agenda to give you basically free college to go into a field that these people don't want to go into, just because they're female, to somehow get the math to work out. I was like, but you're not going to give the same incentives and opportunities to men that want to do it. You might get a few women along the way that want to be scientists, of course. And that's what, you'll go with that. Her defense to this whole thing was about fighting against this stereotype that women are dumb and blah blah. And I was like, look, growing up, the only thing I ever heard was that girls are smarter than boys in school. Girls mature faster than boys in school. Girls used to make fun of me when I was a boy, when they were the same age as me, and tell me how much smarter and more mature they were than I was. So for me, from my point of view, all I've ever heard is that girls do better in school, and they always seem to get the better grades. They're much better at taking tests, and they always get the scholarships. But in their little world, that doesn't happen because it didn't happen to them. They didn't pay attention in school, and instead of holding themselves accountable for the fact that they were too busy chasing boys or tweeting or whatever, or just listening to boy bands and doing their makeup over and over again to actually make something of themselves, it's the man's fault. That's the parents' fault. That's the patriarchy's fault. That's gender inequality. No, you need to be responsible for your goddamn actions. That's what this is about. They don't seem to remember that, you know? They don't seem to get it. So so then I called her out on it. I said right there in front of everybody, I said, so what you're telling me is you would want a law, gender specific, passed just for women, only women can get easier scholarships and financial, basically, why not? Let's just give them free tuition plus a bonus on their salary from the government if they go into science and graduate. Okay, so I was like, let's go ahead, let's just do that. Fuck guys, right? Fuck boys. Fuck their opportunity, because equal opportunity with unequal result wasn't good enough for you. No, you want unequal opportunity to equal out the result. Fuck off. She looked at me like, are you fucking serious? I said, yes, you're being a social Marxist bully. You are completely the most, I guess, I don't even know how to call you. You're a genius, you're a genist, you're not a racist, you're a sexist. You're just a flat-out sexist. You are a flat-out sexist. And she says, no, I'm not. Obviously, I'm a fucking feminist. I said, well, if you have to keep telling me that you're a feminist and all I'm hearing from you is sexist bullshit, I was like, trust me, I know you're a feminist because you're trying to make a sexist argument, take something that was completely avoid of any sort of drama, create a sexist issue, then push a sexist agenda to somehow fix the sexist issue that you created. At this point, like, her friends start, joining in the conversation, trying to explain, trying to educate me on the history of men and women and what they've been through in the traditionalism and all that shit. And I said, well, okay, well, hold on a second. If you guys want equal opportunity but don't like equal result, isn't that going against freedom of choice? I was like, do you want women to be able to have a choice in their life? Well, yeah, obviously, go, right? They're so pumped up. I'm like, great. So if a woman decides to be a stay-at-home mom, or decides to use her looks to get good money at the strip club, or just wants to be a secretary and likes to be in the support role, and because that's what she's really good at, and she likes to do it. She likes to do what she's good at. You have a problem with that. Because, and they're like, no, we don't have a problem with that. I said, yes, you do, because you don't have enough women in science. So you have to pull it from these other places where they're going to come from. These wannabe stay-at-home moms, these wannabe, ladies that work at secretarial positions, in the HR departments, administrative or whatever, and nursing. You want to pull them out of that and say, okay, yeah, you would want to do that, like you'd want to play with the doll, but I'm going to push the rocket ship on you. I don't care if you cry and you kick and you scream. Trust me, you'll like it more when you get used to playing with the rocket ship. Here's the toy. Here's the Tonka truck. That makes no sense. You are taking away choice, so you're not forcing them to take it. And here's the thing. I explained to her. I was like, look, you guys already have that. You already have an incentive for going to college in a science field. You already get a financial incentive. Basically, it'll pay off your tuition if you save the money that you're given as a financial incentive to going to school for those things. And you could basically get through college without paying a dime and start your career basically debt-free. A man, however, will have to work his ass off for the first 25 years before he really starts to get out of that debt. And then meanwhile, he has to somehow make a family, right? So he's going to have to make a family and support a wife because, the only way he's ever going to have a family is with a woman that's willing to be the stay-at-home mom, because somebody's got to raise the kids, because he's got to go work 80 plus hours a week and sacrifice time away from his family to pay off that debt and to provide them a life in which he can retire into. He doesn't really have much of a choice. The only choice he ever had was going into the field he wanted to go into, which everybody has that choice. But not everybody gets the privileges and the opportunities that women have and then still somehow forget they have and still want more. You know? I was like, so whatever conversation piece you've got to bring up, please bring it at me, because right now you have lost. I was like, so far you have suggested something horrifyingly sexist, and I can't believe you're still sitting in that chair thinking that you're somehow not the perpetrator here, and that I'm somehow the bully. You know? It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. I'm so fucking done with it. And then it came out. This is how it refers to Mgtow. Because then I looked at her and she looked appalled, disgusted. Her friends were starting to like mock me and just give me shit. And I turned to them and I said, you know what? That's why I'm Mgtow too. And they said, what's that? I said, Mgtow, it means men going their own way, which also means I am off the market, ladies. And they were like, oh, like, we would never fucking date you, right? Of course, yeah, try to shame me right now. Try to socially ostracize me. No. See, here's the beauty of being Mgtow. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care. You can socially ostracize me all you want. You can turn and say to everybody in the whole fucking room and in public, go out to the street and yell it over the highway. We're never gonna fuck that guy because he doesn't agree with us. Go right ahead. Please do. Because that weapon you had, that social pressure, that control, that power that you once possessed is gone. Because I don't care about you anymore. I don't care if I get to impregnate you. I don't care if you give me a blowjob. I don't care if you don't. Right? I don't care anymore. You can like me or not like me. I don't give a fuck. So that's what I said to her. I was like, because I'm Mgtow, I don't care if what I say pisses you off and you never want to fuck me. Most guys do care enough that they'll try to tiptoe around the issue, but you've got no problem shrilling out this ideology that men should get fucked for being the best that they try to be, because that's somehow oppressing you. When you made the choices that you made and you're having to deal with those consequences. That is not our fault. That's not my fault. That's not the president's fault. That's not fucking the genitalia's fault. So back off. Right? She didn't know what to do. What she knew how to win an argument was to use the shaming tactics, already assumed that the guy would genuinely either agree with her or back down and come to an impartial passive, probable denial. Well, we can agree to disagree, but it is what it is. Okay, I guess you got a point. Okay. No, I'm not going to do it. That's what she's used to. She didn't know how to act. She was like, well, you know what? I don't give a fuck. You're a fucking bigot. I'm out of here. I was like, good. Have a great day. Peace. She's like, no, you know what? You should leave. She was trying to play another power play. Now she was going to go for the victim narrative, make me look like this abrasive asshole that was causing a disruption because I'm a man, right? And so everyone in the whole place would see me as this terrible person, be like, hey, yeah, you need to get out of here, or some mangina or a white knight from the fucking shadows would appear to carry me away. What's the most gem? What is the biggest gem of this whole experience? Was that when she says, no, I think you need to go. That's when people along the bar area where they were buying smoke or they were buying their flavors and stuff, and even the females behind the bar turned and looked at her, man. And I was like, do people in here, do you really think I need to leave right now? Do you really think I need to leave? All I've done is disagree with her, prove her wrong, and she's trying to shame me and my masculinity. Well, now she knows that doesn't work. She's trying to make everyone here see me as some villainous man. Do you really think I need to leave? And they said no. They said, first off, bitch, I've been listening to you, and you're full of shit. You need to get out of here. And everyone was like, yeah, take you and your fucking little bitch hose with you. And they were like blown away that they weren't in control, that they couldn't manipulate the public and manipulate me and manipulate the whole fucking system to win their argument. So once they realized they couldn't win their argument and they couldn't win the hearts of the people, it helped that everyone there pretty much knew me, so that helped. But when she realized this, she shut down. She just went into like this silent stare moment, got up and was like, well, you know what? Fine. All of y'all are about, I'm never coming back here again, and I'm telling all my friends not to come here. So her last weapon was going to be the economic impact that she could have on the business. Well, fine. So first off, well, you don't agree with me? We're not gonna fuck you. I don't care if I fuck you ever again. I don't care if I don't fuck any woman. You could tell every woman in the world that I have herpes for all I fucking care. Oh. Okay, well, everyone here is gonna see you as a monster. Everyone here knows me and they all know you're full of shit. Oh. Well, this business will be affected financially by our reputation. Go away. The market dictates, not you. So, I just want people to know that those are the weapons that they fall into. They first try to shame you, then they try to change the political your public reputation. First they try to deface you as a person, then they try to deface your public reputation, then they try to deface the environment that is not supporting them, as the whole environment must be against them. No, no, no. It's just one person doesn't agree with you, and you can't back yourself up. You are now turning into an ass and you need to leave. So I leave you with that. You'll run into this. Don't be afraid to confront them. Don't be afraid to talk to them. Sit down with them. And if you say something that they're offended by, just take this as a great weapon in arguments, in debates. If you ever debate a feminist, anyone for any other political reason or anything, or social justice warrior, or even a fellow Mgtow, and they say something offends them, don't back off of that topic. Ask them, what about that offends you? What did I say that offends you? And then when they tell you, you say, well, why does that offend you? Keep digging and keep digging and keep digging, because you will get to the core. Either they will freak out, get pissed off, and completely throw themselves under the bus on their own volition, or you'll come to that core and show them that fundamentally what they're thinking and how they're talking and what their conclusion was based on a fallacy or just some false conclusion. It'll be beautiful. So always, always pursue what offends them. It's say, oh, that offends you? Why does it offend you? What about what I said offends you? Tell me why that offends you. Oh, it's because of that? Why is it that that offends you? Let's get into that topic. So I leave you with that. Thanks for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I should get some background music. Peace.